on. All right. Welcome, Jeff. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Phil. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right too. It's been an interesting time, just kind of hunkering down in the home, practicing a lot of yoga. So that's like one of the really enjoyable parts is because I can't go anywhere and nobody's coming over. It you're, you really get to know your home.
That's true. That's true. Every nook and cranny of it. Yeah. There's no doubt, and I feel the same way. It has allowed me to deepen my practice and to be a lot more diligent in the practice. And I will tell you this: I think, in addition to the fact that we have the time to do this, there's never been a better time than to really
Yeah.
into your practice and to do these things that I think are extremely healthy for you. So
Air high fives over here.
yeah, yeah.
You recently went through Namaste at Home yoga retreat with me and Emily Hudson. And I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit on what that was like doing, you've been on yoga retreats before. And so what was it like doing a yoga retreat at home? Let's just start there.
Yeah. I, you know, I, I wouldn't say nervous, but I was really kind of wondering how this is going to go. First of all, it requires you to do it. You've got to get up. There's no one, uh, you know, blowing a conch and saying, show up at the studio right now. It's you get out of bed and you get over there and you get on that mat. And I was a little bit, and then, you have the distractions of the household. Lucky enough that it's my wife and me and our animals. And so it was pretty easy to figure out what the timing was going to be like and to arrange for that special space, which that was something that I thought you guys did a great job in, which was, before you do this, get yourself a space. Think about all this stuff, because once you start getting into it, if you have these distractions, it's really going to throw you off. And I did a really good job of doing all that stuff. And I was very impressed with my discipline in actually getting out there, getting on the mat. And also, even though there wasn't anybody banging a gong saying get up, you guys did have your cues. And I found them very helpful.
That's awesome.
It was definitely different, but awesome. Awesome the same way.
That was like one of my hopes in bringing it to life was that it would inspire you to get on the mat. And in like teaching the material and developing it, I wanted it to be what you would get at a yoga retreat location and just not being there. So obviously you didn't have the helpers to, or the exact set schedule. I mean, there's a recommended schedule, but it has to fit your life. And there's no meals provided and that sort of thing, which, at a destination retreat is always a great benefit.
Yeah.
But you do also have to let some things go. Did you find that for yourself?
Okay, so that's another interesting part. So one of the things that you get when you're on a retreat and you're actually gone, you're gone. You can distance yourself from some of those things, right? And so that can be a distraction. But what I found extremely helpful was, the day starts with yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And after I did, all the morning stuff, which was the pranayama, the meditation, and then the morning flow, I was somewhere else already. You know what I mean? I set myself up to not feel like that like I was home and that I had all this stuff going on. I found myself really thinking deeply about things and not letting a lot of the normal everyday traffic of life consume me. So yeah, it's different, but like I said, I think you guys did a great job of keeping me there. And then it was, all right, let's do the journaling. You know, and I imagine you're going to talk a little bit about that, but you know, there were the things that just kept me involved the whole time.
What's one of the components that it was either hard or you just didn't like it? You know, that it wasn't this positive experience.
You know, I didn't like the journaling.
Okay.
I didn't like doing it again until I started doing it again. I mean, you know, I hadn't really journaled since going through, you know, the last big yoga retreat that I'd done. I was journaling every day, and I came home and it lasted for about a week, and then I got out of it, you know, and I was really regretting, or not, wasn't thinking I was going to enjoy that. Mm-hmm. But I did. It was good. It was something I felt like I needed to write down, you know, some of those things. And I think the reasons that we do that is because we want to, when we're going through these things, you know, we think about them and we feel them, but in 5 minutes, life could take over and completely change that. And we won't remember how we felt. We won't remember what we were thinking exactly. I think that's the power of journaling. And I would be lying to you if I told you that I kept doing it after the retreat. And I'm not real proud of myself with that. But during the retreat, it was definitely powerful for me. And so I don't, you know, that was one thing I was not looking forward to, but I'm glad that it happened.
No, I hear you. I think I have the same response to journaling. I journal a little bit every day, like a few words, but to like sit down and write, I don't do that too often. And the other day I did sit down and write, and it had such a cleansing, purification feeling to it. It was just like, oh, I needed that. I really needed that. And I forget like how much that is true of myself as well.
You know, what's interesting about that too is, you know, I say that I don't do a lot of journaling, but I always jot down a to-do list. Reason I do it is for that same thing I just said. You know, we'll be thinking about something, you know, thinking about all these cool things, ideas or whatever, and then never write it down. But once you write it down, it's like, all right, I know I can go back to that. What did I get to this today? You know, it's my to-do, but and then journaling, I think, just takes it to a different level. But I think it was pretty important.
Did you, so the retreat was set up for morning practice, and then there was a break, and then journaling, and then a break, and then an evening practice as well. Yep. And did you do the evening practice as well?
Absolutely. I did everything. And I will tell you, it was so necessary. And, you know, when you're doing a lot of yoga like that, I think you definitely need the yin and you definitely need the restorative. Mm-hmm. And I forget how awesome they make you feel, especially doing it at night. And, you know, you and I have had these conversations before where I can't do yoga at night. Even a 5:00 p.m. class is tough for me because it just gets me so jacked up. I'm jacked up for a while. But the yin and restorative classes were just amazing. And talk about some really good nights of sleep. And the only reason it doesn't happen more is because, and I think I wrote you a comment about this. I thought sitting down with my remote control on my couch at night was a good way to unwind. Nothing like doing some yin or some restorative and then followed up with some meditation. Again, I think those combinations were awesome. And then again, the other thing that it does is get you ready for the next day, get you a little bit jacked up for doing it again the next morning. Yeah. So I did that, and I found it exceptionally helpful.
That's great.
It makes me want to do a lot more yin and restorative. You know, I tend to gravitate towards the power yoga and the, you know, let's you know, get it done. But those things are definitely important.
It took me a while to value those just in my own practice, those quieter, subtler, but the importance of having them as part of your practice, I think you really summed up nicely. It just balances out your systems and helps you to find that deep relaxation and unwinding in a very constructive way. You know, I unwind on the couch at the TV often as well, but you know, I think there definitely is a balance to all that. You know, some days that's great, but if that's my everyday unwind, I get out of balance.
Yeah. You know, the other thing is, as you're aware, I kind of re-injured my back and not doing the yoga. I was doing something else. I was moving a statue of Buddha, and I don't know if you know, but Buddha's a pretty big guy. I just wasn't lifting properly, and so I re-injured it. And so day 4 in the morning, I actually had to do the more gentle flow, which I also liked, even though I don't like missing my power flows. You know, I felt like I had to. My body had to do that. And then the only way I was able to get on the mat for the next day was because of those yin restorative classes at night. You know, and that was an injury that I knew I had done, that I felt. But I think there's so many other things that are going on with your body that the yin takes care of, that you won't feel it necessarily the next morning because of that. So I think that was also a big important part of it.
Well, that was, you know, 10 years of running the studio and programming the studio. Like, that's how we had our classes set up. So you would have your more vibrant, energetic practices during the day, and then during the evening time, you want to have these more grounding, subtle, quieter practices, just to help your nervous system regulate and you know, balance things out.
Yeah.
Any other standout thing that for you was like really impactful?
Yeah, I just felt like the progression of events, the way that you guys organized the classes was exceptionally well thought out. I mean, from the first day of pranayama to the 5th day of pranayama, the graduation of getting from that one to the other was amazing. You know, it was, like I said, it was just very well thought out. And so the entire day was well thought out, bled right into the next day, and so on. And for me, that was one of the most impressive parts of the whole deal. You know, the practices were awesome, were amazing. And then, you know, like the meditation, the first meditation, where, you know, you took me back to when I first started doing the meditation, the leaves in the creek meditation. I absolutely love that meditation. and I brought it back. You helped me bring it back, and it was very powerful. So that was one of the things that I think I was most impressed with.
Glad to hear.
And then just the knowledge that both you and Emily have, you know, and Emily is just so sweet. The way that she speaks is just very, it's very easy to listen to her. You know, you too, but you know, that I think that's one of the things that she really brought to the table.
I agree. I think her and I work well together, and I mean, we've known each other for a lot of years now, and have been a part of each other's yoga journey for a lot of years. And so that I've talked a lot about balance here, but she was that yin to my yang in this whole thing, and helped really bring a softer, nurturing side of everything. Not that I can't be soft and nurturing, but you know what I mean.
No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But it was, it was great to. I mean, and I'm in a way, this is going to sound really corny and maybe a little dumb. I'm kind of glad that I did hurt my back and I was able to do one of her classes, because I would ordinarily not have gravitated to that. But it was a great class, and I did enjoy doing that and getting to experience what she brought to the table.
I think when we're really practicing yoga like you do, is you find the lesson in everything, right? Like every moment is a lesson, every class is a lesson, and being able to get out of some of your habitual ruts is a helpful reminder that, you know, you're still doing yoga.
Yeah.
You're not in a handstand or
Well, you know, and it's interesting. I don't know why I'm thinking about this right now, but one of the things that's very difficult, because I've done a lot of home yoga, right? One of the things that's very difficult is to stay with the journey. And, you know, I can be a very results guy. I want to get into the position, into the pose, rather than really taking the time to enjoy the process of getting there. And I think you guys both did a great job in keeping me there. You know, nobody's watching me. I can get to wherever I want to go, you know, but you guys, the cues that you guys kept talking about got me focused. And I thought that was pretty good too.
That was a definite running theme through the retreat, was to come back, or to retreat back. You know, you're taking this step back and recognizing that exact thing, that it's not about the pose, it's not about the end destination, it's, you know, everything that happens in between here and there.
Right. Yeah. I will tell you this too. I was very impressed with you. A couple of the classes you did that were very challenging, and I was sweating and panting and doing the best ujjayi I can do, and I don't know how I would have been able to give the next instruction to go in. So I was pretty impressed with that, by the way.
That's always my one of my biggest criticisms of myself, is I feel like I always sound out of breath because I'm talking and doing the pose, and in a sense I am out of breath. But you know, you work at it, and I'm getting better at it, and we'll continue to. And so, thank you.
It's difficult to do, but I will tell you, I was screaming at you a couple of them when I was doing the. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but there was a lot of leg work, and I was already experiencing some IT band tightness. I was just screaming at you in my head, with my loving voice, by the way, not in total anger, but yeah.
Sandrine taught me a class yesterday for the the membership portal.
How's
And
your stomach today then?
it wasn't her typical one. It was leg
Okay.
negative, but that was I think the part that I really enjoyed, because like you, have done a lot of home practice, and I try to push myself, but I probably give up way more than I do when she's like telling me to hold it or go deeper, and I'm
Right.
like, oh
Right.
my gosh, like, yeah.
Right.
It's I had just a tremendous like gratitude or connection to that aspect of it. You know, I get being upset and angry because I've been there too. Like, you hold it this deep.
Yeah. I got nothing left.
But yesterday, I felt good. I felt empowered. I had a lot of energy, and I was ready to do that work. And I
Yeah.
needed her to help me discover my edge. Because a lot of times by myself, I don't really discover my edge. I get close occasionally, but not really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's that was something else that I was really impressed with the practice, is that I did kind of feel like you were there watching me. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm definitely slacking off here. I could do better. We are, as we say all the time in yoga, we are stronger than we think we are, right? And we need to be pressing that, obviously not to injury, but definitely to find those boundaries. So I did think it was everything was pretty good in that aspect.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, feels good. What would you tell somebody that's on the fence about it? Like,
I did want to tell you, and this may be pretty powerful too, is the idea that you can go back and do those classes again.
Yeah.
I have not yet done it because I'm still kind of nursing this thing, but I want to go back and do it, because getting back to the pushing yourself a little bit further, I could do your day 3 class 5 more times. And hopefully on the 5th time, I'm even further than I was in the first one, right? And there's going to be something else I can discover about it. And so I really like the idea that this is a 5-day retreat that I could do twice a month if I want to.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I'm not sure that I don't see it getting boring. Or even like once a month to just do another regrounding.
That's a mindset thing too, right? Like, if you're coming to each moment with a beginner's mind, with the idea like, what can I learn right now?
Right.
Then yes, that's 100% true and will continue to be. But if you're like, oh, I've done a sun salutation before, I can't learn anything else in it, then
yeah,
it's hard to grow from that space.
Right. The other thing is the meditations and stuff. Again, I go back to the reintroducing that, the leaves on the creek meditation and metaphor. Sometimes I can get lost in my meditation practice and, not think about anything, and then really be thinking about other things. And I'm really not where I need to be. And getting back to that, so that it's kind of a reboot. Really, a lot of the retreats are about that. It's about a reboot for you.
Yeah.
And I think you can discover new things. And my meditation with that, the leaf meditation is never going to be the same twice. No matter what you're saying, no matter what I'm listening to, it's never going to be the same twice. I think that's very similar to the yoga classes as well, which so all the content is right there.
That's what I would call advanced practice, my friend. You are doing well. not everybody is at that space or understanding um, of the
It's one
possibility.
of the things I love so much about yoga. Yeah, we do have our sun salutations. We have our standard poses. We do we go through very similar sequences, but it's different every time for me. I mean, you bench press. How how different is that from one day to the next? Except for maybe you're putting on more weight there. I don't know, but so for me, that's what's so exciting about yoga. There's one of the things that's so exciting about yoga.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on and taking the time to share part of your journey and your practice and your home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for allowing me to participate, and getting back to what I would say to someone on the fence. I would say you owe it to yourself,
Mm.
something like this, and it's a pretty powerful thing, especially if maybe your practice isn't where you want it to be, or maybe it just hasn't developed enough yet. This is definitely something for that. I think it's great for a beginner doing yoga, and I think it's great for an advanced yoga practitioner to get back to it and, kind of maybe get back to the basics a little bit. So thank you.
All right, my friend. We
All right.
will chat at you later.
Okay. Take care.